Ooh, looks like I have a stack of boxes. So I bought this speaker kit from Parts Express, hashtag not sponsored. I was just looking to get some better speakers for my home stereo setup, and the reviews looked good on this kit, so I ordered the whole kit with all the components and the MDF pieces to assemble the cabinets. Now you could just order the components of this kit and build the cabinet yourself, but I went with just a complete kit. So after I made sure that everything was there,
3 weeks later.
spring is finally here. Let's build some speakers. Okay, so I basically just followed the instructions that came with the kit to put it together. First, I sanded the speaker holes to clean up any of those rough, fuzzy edges, and then I pounded in the T-nuts. Then I started gluing together the panels. Now some of them were a little warped, like this front panel, but I just lined up the ends and corners with the side piece that I was gluing it to, and then I clamped it down, and then I pushed the middle out and clamped it, and it all ended up coming out straight in the end. I worked my way around the cabinet, gluing down all the pieces, just getting held up by the glue drying and the number of clamps that I have. Then once the glue had dried, I flipped the cabinet over and I extended the pilot holes that they had already made into the other piece of MDF, and then countersunk the holes and drove in some screws just to make sure that the speaker never ever comes apart. Now my biggest complaint about this kit is that the screws were really hard to drive in. They have these really small Phillips heads on them, and even though there are pilot holes, it was really hard to torque them down without them stripping. Maybe if I had had an impact driver, it would have gone better, but I think just having some nicer screws that were easier to drive down would have made this kit a whole lot more enjoyable to put together. While I was waiting for the glue to dry on various pieces, I got to work assembling the crossover. Now I cut this piece of hardboard out of the back of an old picture frame, and I laid out the components on it, cut it to the right size, and then marked with a Sharpie where I could drill some holes to put the leads of the components through and start soldering everything together. Once all my speaker pieces were attached to one side of the speaker, I screwed in the crossover to the top of the speaker, and then I used some hot glue to attach a whole bunch of polyfoam. At that point, I was ready to glue down the other side of the speaker, so I put some glue, clamped it, and then screwed everything all together. Now I just jumper wired things together at this point because I need to take it all back apart to veneer the cabinet, but my one last comment on this kit is why? Why would you use these security hex screws? I don't own one of these drivers, and I honestly have no intention of ever owning one. Luckily, I had this Nest screwdriver that was the right thickness and width to just kind of shove into one side of these screws and get them to tighten down. But I think these things are just totally pointless. Overall, I would say I'm very happy with this kit, but just the screws were the biggest letdown overall. Alright, so that is these speakers and this video all done. And I gotta say, whoo-wee, these speakers sound really good. I'm very pleased with how they came out. Sorry I didn't go as in-depth with this build video as I do with a lot of my other videos, but I figure these speakers are pretty straightforward, and if you order the kit, all the instructions you need are in there, so you should be able to put the speakers together without needing my help. That being said, in the next video, I'm gonna make these speakers look as good as they sound, hopefully. We're gonna cover them in some wood veneer and do a speaker grill and all that and finish them up. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to not miss out on that video coming out. But otherwise, I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.